Welcome to Stay Tuned's Garage. My name is Alex, and today I'm gonna walk you guys through how I change tires on my bikes. So I already went ahead and raised the front side of the motorcycle. I have already replaced my rear, and now I'm gonna just be replacing the front. Before I raised the bike on the front tire here, I went ahead and loosened these two bolts and the axle. I also loosened all the bolts on the caliper since I'll be removing those. Here you can see me removing the two 12mm brake caliper bolts off of the bike. Once I get those off, I move on to the 6mm Allen head bolt on the ABS sensor. Once removed, I like to hang the brake caliper from the forks. I use some speaker wire this time, but you can use anything you have on hand as long as the caliper doesn't hang from the brake lines. Now with these little guys loose, I'm gonna go ahead and start unscrewing the axle, getting it out of its hole. So I'm gonna cradle the tire and I'm gonna push. There we go. I'm just gonna take the axle all the way out. Just like that. And with the wheel off of the bike, I'm gonna go ahead and remove both brake rotors. And with the tire off the bike, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the rotors off, make sure I don't get any handprints on them, make sure I don't get any grease on them. And then I'll make sure to put them back in the same exact orientation that they came in. Now with the brake rotors off and the tire/wheel package off of the bike, I'm gonna use a little tire gauge, and I'm gonna use this little back piece to get all the air out of the tire. And now I'm gonna use the Bead Pro to go ahead and break the bead on the tire. There we go. And now with the bead broken, I'm gonna go ahead and start removing the tire. I don't have a wheel guard. There are wheel guards you can buy. I can leave a link to those in the description. But I like to just use a little microfiber, put it on the wheel. I'm just gonna set this ridge here so it protects the wheel. There we go. And with one bead off of the wheel, now we're just gonna get the second one over. Alright, and I'm gonna work the bead from this back side, just like this. I'm gonna push it along the wheel. Just keep working it out slowly. And now here I have the new tire that I'm gonna throw on here. I just need to make sure that I mount it in the right orientation. So I need it needs to rotate this way, this way, this way. Perfect. So it's gonna go just like that. And then I just have a little bowl with some soapy water and a microfiber towel. I'm gonna use that on the beads of the tires. Just a little bit of lubrication before I throw it on. And now I'm just gonna work it. And just like that, throw it on. Now this bead is gonna be a little trickier, it always is. That first one is super easy to get through because you have a bunch of slack, but now stuff is gonna start to get tight, so make sure to get some soap and water on everything there. I'm gonna work this, perfect. Keep the pressure on. And I promise you, when you don't have a changing machine, when you don't have a changing machine, this will feel like a game of Twister sometimes. Throw my knee here to keep the bead down. Oh. Keep my knee down over here. Keep the pressure. And I'm gonna try and do the final one. Hope the camera's in focus. This is quite the thing I'm doing here. Here I'm at. Try to help it out. Just let it work itself out. You can see it there. And boom. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna go ahead and air it up. I believe my bike calls for something like 38 PSI. So I'm just gonna go to like high 30s and then I'll check later. There we go. And while I'm here, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this wheel weight so I can go ahead and balance the wheel. All right, so I already went ahead and got the rotors back on the wheel, complete package now. So now what I have here is the axle for the wheel, completely flat. Right now it's completely level at 0 degrees. So what I'm gonna do, grab the axle, put it through the wheel. We're gonna throw this on here. All right, and so now with the wheel on the axle, we can spin the wheel. And what will naturally happen here is the heaviest spot on the wheel is going to go to the very bottom. As you can see, it's rolling backwards to the heaviest spot. So the heaviest spot will always settle. And then I'm just gonna turn it one more time, see if it'll come back to the same spot. And it does look to be coming back there. Let's see. Now it should swing back over this way. Oh, just a little bit. All right, so now it was here. So it's telling me, you know, this isn't a perfect science, but it's good enough to do for free at home. All right, and so now with the heaviest spot at the bottom of the wheel, I am going to get a few weights here, and I'm gonna place them exact opposite from that. And I'm not gonna completely install them just yet. I'm just gonna softly place them so I can test out the balance. Then turn the wheel. All right, so now, as you can see, it is settling in completely random spots. It just so happens to be the heavy spot from earlier, but give it a bigger turn. So now the wheel's landing in completely random spots, basically just wherever it has the momentum. Stop, as you could see there. just stops in completely random spots. So now what I'm gonna do, this seems to be a good spot, I'm gonna clean it real well. I'm just gonna grab 3 new weights and I'm gonna throw those on there. Now with the wheel all balanced out, I'm gonna go ahead and install it back on the bike. There we go. And now with the axle completely threaded in, still just hand tight, but completely threaded in, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the calipers back on. Just making sure that the brake pads are aligned in the caliper to receive the brake rotor. Just gonna throw the ABS back on. And screw everything back in. Now we can go ahead and lower the bike, which is going to be sketchy. There we go. That works pretty good. Not as sketchy as I thought. Remember, the axle is still just hand tight. I haven't like torqued it down just yet. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going to bounce the front suspension. And what that basically does, it just helps align everything with the wheel. It helps the axle sit in the right spot. It helps everything just kind of align itself. And now I can go ahead and torque it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and torque this bolt to 95 foot-pounds. Factory calls for 93.7, but I'm just gonna round up. Perfect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get these nice and tight. They don't have to be super tight, just a little, a step past snug, you know what I mean? And now with the wheel on the ground, I'm going to torque these caliper bolts to 25 foot-pounds, so. And that is how I change my own motorcycle tires. Now for the first like 50 miles or so, I'm gonna be very, very careful with the bike. Brand new tires are very slippery. You need to kind of wear them in a little bit before you get full grip out of them. Always ride with caution when you're on brand new tires. I have heard of dudes who actually will kind of like sand the brand new tires down a tiny bit. I've never personally done that. I've always gone away with just like riding kind of careful for the first few miles. Every turn, take it a little slower than normal and just kind of get a little bit more and more confidence as I feel the tires out. It works for me because I get to kind of, you know, feel out the tires little by little, build up my confidence on the new tires, especially if it's a new tire that I haven't run before. Probably don't want to do any wheelies or crazy stuff on brand new tires. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.